Once we understand our business and the business process, next step is to understand the data. Understand the data touchpoint in the context of the entire business process. Now this video is a continuation on our previous video on business understanding. We will be using the same real world use case, the credit card underwriting, to identify data touchpoints within the business process. In case if you have not seen the video, you can click on the link that pops up in the top and then come back to this video to continue from here. Now this is the business process we have been talking about in our previous video. This is a credit card underwriting system that takes data from multiple channels and then provides a decision on whether the application is approved or rejected, right? What we do is overlay data touch point within this business process. As you can see the diagram over here, we also have knowledge representation on where the knowledge exists or where the actions are actually taken, right? So understanding your data is critical to building powerful machine learning system. What we do in the data understanding phase is we gather knowledge on where data originate from, how data is getting processed, what decisions are made, where it is getting stored, and how it flows to downstream. Right. If you see over here, the data is present in the source system where an user submits an application. The data is coming from your third-party fraud service, third-party credit bureau, and then you also have data that is generated during the manual underwriting process, the application that are kind of put into a manual queue to underwrite, and also in the credit decision engine as such, right? There is also a knowledge where what decisions, how the decisions are being made. So for example, the ability to pay rules engine has a rules in it, which has intelligence on which customer might be profitable and which customer may default, right? So that's where the knowledge comes in. The card decision engine also has knowledge and some kind of rules embedded from third-party sources on which variables contribute to the good outcome and which attributes contribute to the bad outcome. So we collect the data and the knowledge and also further deep dive into the data definition, the business definition of the data element that is used in the entire life cycle. Now, if you see here, we have some internal sources, right? That comes from the customer, and there are some external sources that is like the credit bureau and the third-party fraud service. Right, these are sources. We collect the metadata of the attributes that are getting used in the data understanding phase. Now this is the phase where we also see if we can feed in additional data sources. It can be some behavioral data or it can be another partner data that can enhance the decision over here. So we collect third-party data also and see whether it will contribute to any better decision making in this process. Now we check to see if labels are available that we can directly leverage. So in some cases, labels may be spread across multiple systems. So if you see in this case, the business process that we are talking about, the label can be present in the card decision engine when the decisions are automatically made. But it can be available with the credit analyst team in the manual review database when the decisions are made manually. Maybe there's no consolidated view. So you may have to go across multiple systems to get the label. It's not only that, you need to understand the concept of late arriving labels. So what does this late arriving labels mean? So take in this case, right, we are using historical default information of customer who are defaulted on payment and then trying to build a model. Now, in all reason, a new customer, when we underwrite, it might take around 30, 60 or 90 days to really show his default behavior. So this means like you have to wait for at least some threshold. It can be 60 days or 90 days for actual labels to arrive in. This also means that when you are training the model, you need to make sure that you are training on a model which is 60 or 90 days old. You cannot train always on the latest and greatest data set. This is this kind of a late arriving label, and this is almost valid in multiple scenarios. It can be in the customer churn, credit card fraud, or any other fraud scenario, or any other scenario which you see in real world. So you need to you cannot always do an online learning in a lot of system, and this is one of the scenario where you have late arriving labels. Thank you.